all, it's Michelle from The Scattered Scrapper. Welcome to my channel. Today I am working on day 1 in my Documenting December album. I'm following along with Shamel's class called Journal Your Christmas. So this is heavily influenced by her prompts and videos from this morning. And what I'm going to do is take this paper here and tear it across, and it's going to go on the bottom of this other paper. And I have these 2 pictures of my girls. So today is talking about the intention of the album for this year. And my intention every year to do any kind of scrapbooking, anything, is to keep the memories, record the memories, and because a lot of times we just kind of live day to day and things happen and we don't remember anymore. Those memories just kind of fade away, so we take pictures to help us remember and we can look back on them. And in addition to taking pictures, we as scrapbookers write down what is going on with the pictures, because sometimes even with taking all the pictures and looking through our albums, we don't remember certain things. We forget details, or we forget even why we took a certain picture. So I love this about scrapbooking, is that we can also write things to help us to remember. And so my intention for this album this year is for these 2 beautiful people right here in these pictures, my girls. I want them to be able to have those memories and have a record of those memories, even if it's mundane, day-to-day things, like how messy the living room was, or what their bedrooms looked like when they were little, and how they changed over the years. So that's my intentions for having this little album. And so I'm going to put a picture of both my girls here. And this one here is my older daughter, and she has a wreath on top of her head when we went to pick out a Christmas tree, and I just snapped a little photo of her. And then the other pictures of my younger daughter when she had gone ice skating with some friends. And I was playing around with my camera, and this was a lucky shot. I just feel like sometimes, we take pictures and we take a lot of bum pictures, but that's okay. We take so many, at least one at some point is going to be like, "Oh, wow, I actually took a great picture." And that's kind of how I feel about the picture of my younger daughter. She was just skating by, and I was trying to practice with my camera and had it on, let's see, what is it, the sport mode. And I just happened to, in the burst of pictures that sport mode takes, this one was in there. And I was like, oh my goodness, I actually got one. So it was very thrilling. So unfortunately, I didn't have a lot of control of what was behind her. So part of covering that up is using the picture of my older daughter. But then also there was a picture of someone behind her, and so I'm like, well, I can't figure out how I want to put these on the page so that it looks right. But then I was like, oh wait, I can use a sticker or something, a die cut, to cover up that person that was in the background. And that's where the sticker that says most wonderful time of the year comes into play. So now I've got that person in the background covered up, and so all we see are my 2 girls. Pay no attention to the lady in the background behind my daughter with the big wreath on her head. We're just going to pretend like that person's not there. So now I'm going through the die cuts to see if I see anything else I would like to add to. And I've got this sticker of the pink poinsettia on my finger because I know I'm wanting to use that. And there's this big number above my daughter's head that I would like to cover up. And I like this little bird with the twig. I think that is so cute, and to me it kind of goes with it because she's got greenery on her head from a tree. It doesn't stay there because I'm bound and determined I'm going to use this floral right here. And the bird with the twig and the flower, they just don't quite work. So while I'm still thinking about that, I'm going to put a little bit of ink around the edges here and put this little bit of holly on there, and that's going to do that. And now I'm like, okay, I don't like the bird there because it doesn't work with my flower, but I'm going to keep trying. And I'm trying to be really careful with these stickers because they are so thin. They're not cardstock stickers. So you have to be really careful with them because they tear really easy. I mean, I think they're thinner than even just regular paper. They're really thin. But here you can see I'm trying because it's so cute and I really like it, but it just doesn't go. So I think, oh, there has to be something else. And that's when I find these little hearts in the die cut pack. So I'm going to fuss around with these little hearts, and there's a red one, a pink one, and a green one. But the red one and the green one kind of disappear in the background of that picture. So I'm like, well, I can just switch it up and use all three colors and have that bigger red one there that covers up that number from whatever was up on top of the scaffolding stuff in the back there. I can cover that up, and I can put that little green heart above it, and then I can put this little pink one down beside my younger daughter. So these are kind of small, so I'm going to use my little minuscule Zots here. And I lost my heart there for a second. I dropped it, but it landed in my palm, so yay. So I'm going to use my little Zots here instead of trying to use my ATG. I probably could have used my ATG on that one, but those little bitty ones, I'm not that good with the ATG gun in order to put glue deftly on these little tiny die cuts. So I'm just going to use this little Zot here. So I get that on there, and I like how that's looking. And now I'm going to look for some enamel dots. And I'm looking and I'm thinking, which color do I want to use? And so I decide on this pale color. It's not really a pink, but it's not cream either. So I'm not really sure what color you would call it. But I'm going ahead and kind of sprinkling them around. And at first I put these kind of around the most wonderful time of the year, but I didn't like it. Especially because I had put them kind of close together at the top. And I kind of want to mirror that down towards the bottom. So I'm going to move those around and try and find a good spot for them. And I like that. So I go ahead and push them down. And here I want to use a tag for my journaling. And let's see, yeah, I'm going to trim this off. And I love this little tag that is on this Vicki Boutin paper. It says December Joy on it. And I'm like, oh, that's perfect. So I'm going to trim that out. And the other side is just graph. It's like a graph paper on the back side. So if I need more room for telling my intentions and talking about my girls and everything, then I've got some more room on the back side. And of course I trimmed it a little wrong, so I had to get that straightened up there. And I'm just going to trim these little notches off. And yeah, there you can see is the graph on the back. So I'm going to put my day one on here. And I'm going to put it on a label. So now I'm looking through the labels, or through the sticker book, to find a label. And I was kind of surprised actually going through these that there weren't more round ones. There was a lot of regular kind of tab-like labels and regular rectangular labels, but no round ones. And I think this one even had just one, and I had already used it. So there you can see lots of tabs, lots of round circles with things on them. So I'm looking at my last sticker book, and there are some round labels. Only 3. And I actually really considered using one of those round numbers, but I decided against it. And since I knew I was going to put some gold splatters on the page, I thought, oh, I'll use this gold circle label. So that'll help introduce it in more than just my little splatty bits. So I'm going to just go around the edge with, I'm just using a brown ink there. And I'm thinking, oh, I could use that one. But no, I want to kind of bring that pink flower to the forefront that's underneath the tag. So I'm looking on here for another pink floral I could use. And I know this page is full of them. Well, it's full of greenery and sunflowers anyway. And there, I've already messed up because I have kind of torn the sticker a little bit because I was not being careful. And what happens here is, look, I ripped that leaf off because it was, I mean, it is stuck to my finger. But it ends up not being a problem. It ends up being serendipitous because I'm going to be able to use it in another way. I was thinking, I got to stick this back on here where it was. But I realized that the flower is not going to go underneath my label. It's going to go on top of it. And I can bring it down and nestle it right there before the D in December. And I love how that looks. And there you can see, I would be cutting that leaf off anyway. So I can stick it on this side and have it as a little bit more embellishment. So it worked out perfectly. And I like that. I think that's really pretty. And now I'm like, okay, I need to put a number on there. So what am I going to use? And I have this stamp set here. I think it's a Hampton Arts. And you have an outline and then you have the fill-in. And I'm just going to use the outline with this green. I think this is Rustic Wilderness. And I'm going to put it on top of this little mat so that I get a pretty good impression. And that's going to do it for that. And I will put my journaling on there after a while. And now I'm going to put on the little gold splatty bits. And once I get the journaling on my tag, I will put some little gold splatter on that too. And I want to make sure I'm really careful with this. And I don't want any big, huge splats to fall off. I had that happen the other day. And I'm like, oh no. And that's pretty much going to do it. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope that if you're going to join along in a December daily type project, that you're well and good and started. And I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.